How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we're looking at CHEK, which is a stock that I actually talked about over 2 months ago. They had some big news today and they're up about 134% right now. I want to talk to you about the company, talk to you about what I'm looking at with it, what I'm going to do with it, and talk to you about another stock that I think could have this explosive growth in the future. Now, before we get started, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. It helps out the channel a lot. If you guys want to check out the link down below to WeBull, you can definitely check that out, get a few free stocks. Also, there is a link down there to BlockFi where you can get an interest rate on your cryptocurrency, and they're paying up to $250 worth of bonus, so definitely check that out. Now, I will say before we look at CHEK, we are looking at a lot of different stocks that are green today. This is just one of my portfolios here, and you can see there's a lot of green. There are a couple stocks in the red, ChargePoint, CLSK, two companies I've talked a little bit about more recently. Both stocks I like a lot, but today we're almost sitting back a little bit more than usual because there's so much green. And we've seen this over the last week or so that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it seemed like we just kept on getting beat up day after day. And we kept on buying more, or a lot of us did, and then it kept on falling down. But we're starting to get rewarded a little bit from that. Now, days like today, you sit back a little bit more. There aren't as many deals in the market, at least not a lot that are red. But if you guys want to know kind of what I'm seeing, being able to help you out when we do see red days and trying to help you get around the mindset that you want to sell on red days and to stop the bleeding, really you should be buying on red days. If you guys want to check out that link down below to Patreon, you can know exactly when I buy and sell different stocks. You're in a community with over 4,000 other people, and you can see what everyone's buying at different times and kind of get a feeling for where people are moving in the market. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Now, I talked about CHEK in a couple videos, actually I think 3 videos at the beginning of the year. I actually bought this stock. It went up about 15% or 20% in a few days, and I sold it. A quick little flip there. There were a handful of these biotech penny stocks that I had done that to because they had moved up so quickly. And at the time, this was already up a couple 100%. Now CHEK actually went up 135% today. It's come down a little bit since the market opened, about 10%. And they had some big news. They got an FDA approval. The clinical stage diagnostic company advancing the development of the C-scan, the first and only patient-friendly, preparation-free screening test to detect polyps before they may transform into colorectal cancer, today announced that the USDA has approved the company's investigational device exemption application, permitting CHEK to begin a pivotal study of C-scan. In the U.S., C-scan is intended for candidates who are at average risk of CRC and who are poor candidates for colonoscopy or declined colonoscopy, or who had an incomplete optical colonoscopy. The pivotal study will evaluate safety and performance of the C-scan as well as subject compliance with the C-scan. This study will be able to help a lot of people that, first of all, maybe just don't want to have this done to them. I mean, it's a very uncomfortable process having a colonoscopy from what I've heard, and it will also help a lot of people that can't have it. So this could be something that would be really big, I think, in the future if people didn't have to go out of their way and help people decrease their chances of having this colorectal cancer. Now, this was listed as one of the big things that they were looking for in 2021, a big driver. And again, I'll talk to you about a company that I think could have explosive growth like this company here in a second. But if you don't remember what CHEK is, it's a prep-free capsule-based screening option for the health-conscious population that are currently avoiding other screening procedures. So this is a way to have a really non-invasive colonoscopy. You don't have to take all the liquids that make you flush your system out. Now, CRC is the third most diagnosed yet least prevented cancer. You can see here they have about 900,000 deaths worldwide each year and about 1.8 million new cases. So basically there are these 3 parts. There's a C-scan cap, you have the C-scan track that you put on your back, and then you have this analysis suite that's the software. So it's very non-invasive compared to what normally happens. And you can kind of see the timeline here. You take the capsule at the clinic, You do your normal daily routine for 2 to 3 days. They're notified once the capsule is excreted naturally, and then the physician analyzes the data. And you can see their strategic path forward. This was the IDE submission that was actually approved. They're assuming that the completion of the pivotal study here will end in 2022 to 2023. The file with the FDA and FDA approval will happen next year or the year after. So they do have some major milestones to hit. They have some major catalysts to hit. Now, just looking at the company again here, we're sitting at just $157 million market cap. So this is still a small company. However, they have moved up a lot. Let's just be clear. They've moved up from $1, $1.50 over the last week. If we look at the 6 months, they went from a 32-cent stock. This is a company that has grown 10x here in the last, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months. So this is something to pay attention to. However, their IP seems to be very good. They have a lot of potential catalysts. Now, I'm always cautious when a company goes up so much so quickly, but if we continue to see more hype around this, I think it will continue to go up. The question is, how long before we actually see any kind of revenue? I mean, we have a lot of companies that are actually doing really cool things. TTOO, we have Time, we have BNGO, we have Senseonics, and some of those already are gaining revenues, right? So this company has some cash. You can see actually here that they have enough cash for the next 12 months, they say, for ongoing operations and plans for approximately 12 months. They probably will have to raise some revenue or raise some capital at some point, maybe here in the next few weeks now that it's up so much so quickly. So that's something to keep in mind here, that we might see a good buying opportunity if they do what a lot of these other companies have been doing, which is they go up 40, 50, 60, 100%, they raise some capital. Now, I'm not saying that's bound to happen, but it's just something to keep on your mind here. Now, I am not buying this one right now. I think there are a lot of companies that have a lot of promise. One company that I'm thinking kind of has similar catalysts maybe is Time. So Time Technologies is a company I've talked about before. It's a company that's actually up a good amount today. We've been holding it through the tough times this last couple weeks. You can see it went into the 180 range. Before that, if you look here, it was all the way up at about $3.50. They have a lot of catalysts, clinical milestones, preclinical and clinical data milestones, and some other stuff too with patent claims. There are a lot of catalysts coming up here in the next 2 years for this company and the next year for this company. So maybe take a look at this one. I'll put the video on the end screen for this company and for CHEK so you can get a little bit more background on CHEK. Of course, I could always be wrong. There are catalysts that happen all the time with all of these stocks. So, they could be positive catalysts, negative catalysts. Definitely do your research on these, but these are some companies that I think are really interesting in the space, and I will keep an eye on for sure. If you want to see whether I buy CHEK or add to Time or add to any of these other biotech penny stocks, you can definitely check out the link down below to Patreon. If you guys want, you can check out the link down to WeBull also and to BlockFi to get that interest rate on your cryptocurrency. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.